Good afternoon, everyone. Today I will be talking about aquaculture industry, particularly focusing on Sarawak and its growth potential. We will explore the rise of aquaculture industry, the factors driving its growth, the importance of aquaculture to cope with food security needs, and its impact on the ecosystem. Aquaculture is the harvesting of aquatic organisms in controlled environments such as fish, shellfish, crustaceans, and plants. The fish farming of aquaculture species is done in water bodies like ponds, rivers, lakes, oceans, or artificial environments like tanks. Now, let us look at the rise of aquaculture industry due to externalities. The rise of aquaculture is largely driven by external factors including depleting marine livestock. Overfishing has caused the decline in marine population, not allowing sufficient time for the marine ecosystem to regenerate. Increase of human population, which is expected to reach 9.7 billion by 2050, and then marine pollution such as sewage discharge and oil leakage are the root causes driving the decline in marine population. Hence, expanding the aquaculture production is vital to safeguard the marine source food security for human population in the long term and to ensure the survival of marine biodiversity. Secondly, algae bloom outbreak. Riverine and marine pollution due to sewage discharge and climate change that's causing the rise of temperature often result in the outbreak of algae blooms. Algae bloom outbreaks can cause low dissolved oxygen in the water, resulting severe stress on aquatic organisms and eventually suffocate to death. This scenario underscores the need to shift the focus toward aquaculture by implementing innovative technologies and systems in the controlled environment. Thirdly, economic disruption due to COVID-19. In Malaysia, the movement control order implemented disrupted the supply chains and restricted travel for fishermen. Hence, it emphasized the importance of aquaculture in providing sustainable food supply amidst global disruption. The pandemic underscored the need for resilience in aquaculture operation with centralized framework encompassing fish breeding and farming, processing fish into ready-to-cook products, creating edible byproducts, incorporate with digital marketing tool, physical shop, and market delivery service. Now, let's look at the current state of aquaculture and its potential. Globally, fisheries and aquaculture are vital for food security, employment, and economic growth. Fisheries sector has produces over 90 million metric tons of marine food supply annually. However, overfishing activities and climate change have depleted the global marine ecosystems, causing the ripple effect in decrease of marine food supply over the time. This has led to the rise of aquaculture, a sector that now contributes nearly 50% of the global marine food source for human consumption. Aquaculture has been growing at an average rate of 8.3% per year, driven by the increased demand for protein. According to the OECD and World Bank, aquaculture overtook traditional capture fishing in 2023 and produced 60% of all the fish and seafood by 2030. In Sarawak, fisheries and aquaculture are vital to the state's economy, contributing significantly to GDP growth, employment opportunities, and supporting rural livelihood. Nonetheless, aquaculture production in Sarawak remains very low compared to other Malaysia states, contributing only 1.9% of national aquaculture output, despite its potential for growth. Sarawak has a wealth of untapped resources and opportunities for expanding aquaculture. Profitable opportunities exist in the highland lakes formed by Sarawak hydropower dams, Rajan River Delta, and the coastal areas. For example, Batang Eye Hydroelectric Dam Reservoir is a significant site for freshwater cage culture, particularly for tilapia fish. In 2019, tilapia cage farming had harvested over 850 metric tons. However, research indicates that the reservoir carrying capacity for aquaculture is estimated at 4,239 tons per year, addressing the need to unlock its full potential. Besides, Sarawak government also focus on marine aquaculture. The government has been developing designated areas for marine aquaculture sector with the establishment of Tanjung Manis Halal Hub. The aquaculture sector in Tanjung Manis emphasizes on high value and export-oriented aquaculture products, especially seafood that meet international halal standards. This emphasizes on premium markets which offer high returns compared to most freshwater farming. Sarawak region is well positioned to significantly expand its aquaculture output, contributing to economic growth and job creation in the coming years. Forecasts show that the state's current aquaculture production of just over 11,500 tons a year has the potential to increase by a factor of 25 to hit 300,000 tons a year by 2030. This expansion could generate up to 44,000 new jobs and add $800 million to the state GDP. Now, let us explore how the aquaculture practice in Sarawak is. Sarawak has abundance of hydro dams for generating electricity and safeguarding water catchment areas. It is well positioned for expanding the freshwater aquaculture industry, and its location along the South China Sea also offer a great opportunity for brackish water aquaculture and marine aquaculture. Currently, aquaculture practice in Sarawak primarily employs cage culture rather than recirculating aquaculture system. Cage culture relies on natural water flow for oxygenation and waste removal. Henceforth, Sarawak dams provide the ideal condition for such aquaculture practices. Although RAS system offers benefits like minimal water usage and better environmental control, but it is a highly controlled and intensive farming method that requires high operational costs and advanced technologies, which limit its adoption in Sarawak aquaculture industry. Sarawak aquaculture industry focuses on species that are economically viable, environmental adaptable, and aligned with market demand. For example, in freshwater species, we have red tilapia, catfish, and river carp species. As for marine species, we have white-leg shrimp, tiger prawn, and sea bass. In addition, Malaysian Good Agriculture Practice, known as MyGAP certification, is a national scheme that promotes safe and quality agriculture products through sustainable practices. In Sarawak, the aquaculture industry has made significant strides in obtaining MyGAP certification, reflecting a commitment to high standards and market competitiveness. As of January 2021, the Sarawak Marine Fisheries Department reported that 28 aquaculture premises had received MyGAP certification. This group includes 4 farms, 19 cage breeders, and 5 hatcheries. MyGAP certification offers benefits such as expanding local and international market access and increased consumer confidence. As you have gone through with aquaculture practice in Sarawak, let us look at the positive and negative impact of aquaculture sector. For positive impact, Sarawak is safeguarding its food security. Population growth, climate change, and overfishing have significantly contributed to the decline in aquaculture livestock. Aquaculture helps address this issue by supplementing dwindling wild fish stock, ensuring a consistent supply of aquaculture products to meet the demand of a growing population while reducing dependence on wild protein sources. Secondly, aquaculture industry can boost local economy, especially for fishermen and farmers, as their alternative source of income while waiting for other agricultural crops to harvest, and during monsoon season where traditional fishing activities are often disrupted. Next, aquaculture supports environmental conservation by allowing marine ecosystem to regenerate. This is achieved through breeding and releasing native species into the wild to restore depleted population such as emperor fish and provide sustainable alternatives to wild caught seafood. Furthermore, seaweed or macroalgae aquaculture plays a vital role in absorbing large amounts of carbon dioxide (CO2) during photosynthesis. It helps to mitigate climate change by lowering dissolved CO2 levels. Seaweed farming reduces local acidity, benefiting marine organisms like shellfish and corals that are sensitive to acidification. This practice also helps minimize the carbon footprint of aquaculture. Next, let's look into the negative impact. The expansion of aquaculture farms causes destruction to sensitive habitat such as mangroves, wetlands, and coral reefs, particularly for shrimp and fish farming. This leads to significant biodiversity loss, reduced coastal protection, and disruption of critical ecosystem services. Water pollution and eutrophication occurs due to intensive aquaculture practices, releasing pollutants into surrounding water bodies, negatively impacting ecosystem and biodiversity. Uneaten feed, fish waste, and excreta accumulate, releasing excess nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus, which contribute to eutrophication and promote harmful algae blooms is also a negative impact. Moreover, disease and parasites spread throughout the water bodies due to overcrowded conditions. The introduction of non-native species, untreated water, and overuse antibiotics in aquaculture industry. It threatens both farmed and wild aquatic populations. Now we move forward to understand the challenges of aquaculture practice in Sarawak. First is the environmental and water quality degradation due to excessive nutrient from fish waste, uneaten fish food, effluent, and antibiotics indicate localized eutrophication. Secondly, the disease outbreak due to climate variability exacerbating production loss. For instance, outbreaks of streptococcus disease and white spot disease. Thirdly, aquaculture productivity in Sarawak is low compared to other Malaysian states due to insufficient infrastructure, high upfront cost of advanced technologies such as recirculating aquaculture system, automated monitoring system, or climate resilient infrastructure offers numerous benefits but comes with significant financial constraints among small-scale farmers in Sarawak. Lastly, insufficient research and development in species diversification, disease management, and climate adaptation strategies hinder the potential of aquaculture in Sarawak to achieve sustainable growth. For the future development plan of Sarawak aquaculture industry, we suggest to look into Singapore aquaculture development as our benchmark. So, let's watch the video.
The first innovation that SAT used for fish farming in Singapore was that we put an RES system together which is floating on the sea. We made that work with industry automation and apply machine learning for data analytics. What we understand under sustainability is carbon neutrality, reducing carbon footprint with short distances to our consumers, and reducing waste the way we operate. The main aspect in protecting the environment around our farm is the discharge and achieving zero waste. So we try to collect everything that we filter in our recirculating system, and we also have an approach to denitrify the nitrate-rich water that would be otherwise discharged in the environment. This is a very important innovation that make it possible to scale up our operation.
Singapore's journey in aquaculture is just beginning, shaping a future where sustainability and productivity coexist for long-term food security.
So now you are in the hatchery. We normally start out with 1 million eggs. Okay? They are about 14 days old. So we grow our Asian sea bass, red snapper and grouper right here. Right in front of us here, this is our seawater inlet. What we do in aqua is basically water quality. If the first input water quality is good, it's just like human living in clean air. If the water quality is good, there is no need to use antibiotics to cure the fish, and there's no need to vaccinate the fish. Right now, we are in the basement of the Equa. We are currently now 6 meters below sea level. If you look at it carefully, the fish is swimming against the current. The current is deliberately created, it's like a vortex flow, similar to the ocean condition. Therefore, our fish grow much leaner and they eat better also. When you harvest the fish, in less than 100 meters, you reach a processing plant. And in less than 10 meters, you reach the boat that brings out the fish to shore. That to me is a true, unbroken, shortest food mile supply. In a peak time, we should be able to produce 160 tons of fish a year. But definitely, at least in the fold of 20 times more per hectare in many of the farms around us.
You see this one so big? $2 only? Wow.
Ever since we started this shop and even on online, local support have been very good because they have tasted what local fish is all about.
We are quite impressed. The price is like challenge overseas. We should do whatever we can to be a bit more self-sufficient.
The meat is very sweet. Yeah, very tender.
From the video you watch, Singapore apply RAS system as the fundamental for aquaculture development. RAS system minimizes water usage and reduces environmental discharge, allowing for better control of environment, increasing productivity while mitigating pollution. They integrated with renewable energy such as solar power to reduce the carbon footprint. They also have an innovative approach to denitrify the excess nitrate in the water before discharging to the ocean. Moreover, the farm is treating seawater and waste through filtration system and ozone sterilization, avoiding contamination to the ocean. Good water quality for fish is just like humans living in clean air. Thereby, there is no need to use antibiotics and vaccination. This aquaculture practice protects the farm from external threats like algae bloom outbreaks. The farm also saves energy by placing the main fish tanks below the sea level, creating natural gravity force that mimic the ocean current condition. Thus, the fish grow much leaner and healthier. Meanwhile, fish breeding is done through laboratory process to avoid the risk of bringing diseases from outside and gives a better control over fish quality. Other than that, adopting one-stop supply business model to centralize the essential operations such as fry production to feed provision, farming and harvesting, centralized seafood processing and cold storage facilities, reducing the need of extensive transportation, and integrating e-commerce system and physical grocery store to connect with consumers. Next, we want to watch the second video about traditional sea cage farm incorporated with modern aquaculture practices.
So my farm is an open sea cage farm based on long-time traditional methods. Can you see? They're swimming and they like to swim round and round and round and round. We want people to know that the fish are subject to the open waters. That makes the fish more firm. A bit like free-range chicken, you know? If you look at our farm, it looks like a very traditional farm. But what we've done is to try to incorporate some technology inside. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to slowly edge the fish over, and meanwhile we have people who are taking photos and videos of the fish. See? Simple. So our objective is to take care of the fish, not take care of the equipment, and so we've come up with a good system to do the counting. but without having massive equipment on the farm. For our farms in Lim Chu Kang, we have a possible low dissolved oxygen situation. It means there's not enough oxygen in the water, and that basically means that the fish will be under stress and maybe even suffocate to death. And if there's a problem, it will basically alert and wake up the farmer. Like he'll switch on the pumps, aerators, he'll switch on the motors, and this is to pump oxygen and to move the water so that the fish are not stressed.
The Singapore aquaculture sector contributes significantly to the 30 by 30 goal. Fish production is one of the more resource-efficient way of producing protein. Essentially, what Malcolm wants is to have snappers that can grow faster, have higher survival rate, and have better flesh quality such as the omega-3. So this is where we come together with the researchers to develop the methods to get better strains for the farmers. So can you see the larvae, they are all clustering around here. Selective breeding is an ongoing process. We will need to keep improving them from generation to generation.
Yeah, this looks good. You can see this is the snapper larvae. We want to make it easy for the consumer. It's got my proud face on it because we are so proud of the fish, Singapore fish. We want to make sure that the fish is widely available. So we work with the supermarkets, online platforms, restaurants. We visited many supermarkets, but without FairPrice giving us the first opportunity, we would never be where we are today.
Based on the video, Singapore traditional cage farming applied smart aquaculture approach such as water monitoring system to monitor the level of oxygen in the water. In the case of low dissolved oxygen, the system will alert the farm operator to switch on the pumps and motors to pump oxygen to move the water, preventing massive death of the fishes. Besides, collaboration between aquaculture operators and scientists on selective fish breeding to improve fish genetics by having faster growth rate, higher survival rate, and better flesh quality such as omega-3. Apart from fresh fish, the farm operator has come up with a range of fish byproducts to increase their revenue. Last but not least, aquaculture cultivation holds significant promise for both production and livelihood generation, but it must prioritize ecological balance by adopting sustainable practices and integrating innovative technology. The environmental footprint of aquaculture can be reduced, ensuring its long-term variability within Sarawak's aquaculture system. In the short term, Sarawak's existing cage farming operation can adopt simple, innovative and cost-effective technologies such as water monitoring systems and smart aquaculture practice to improve fish health, prevent losses and boost productivity without requiring substantial investment. These incremental advancements can serve as a foundation for modernizing traditional practices while ensuring environmental sustainability. In the long run, Sarawak can aim to implement recirculating aquaculture system as a fundamental framework for its aquaculture industry. By centralizing operations with a one-stop supply model, Sarawak can enhance operational efficiency, reduce cost, minimize environmental impact, and improve product quality. The integration of renewable energy sources, advanced water treatment, and selective fish breeding can further position Sarawak as a leader in sustainable aquaculture, boosting local economy, ensuring food security, reducing dependency on imported food, conserving environment, and social benefit to the region.